Open Toish.
Open Toish.
How are you? Are you well?
Yes.
We don't say hello. We ask how are you feling. Open Toish.
Toish.
Open Toish. Mikos Toish. I am very well. Today's a blessed day to be here, and we thank Creator for this day. Oh, Creator, for this day. We thank you for all these wonderful people, for bringing us together. We are the living seventh generation prayer of our ancestors. We are the MLD, the most likely descendant. That is by law. By law, we are the most likely descendants of this area. Our most recent village was in Marshall. Fishermen's. Help me out, cousin. Echakalom is our tribal language name. Marconi. Up there on the other side of the bay, up on Marshall, the Indian Cemetery. Those are our ancestors that flow through our veins right here. And we thank you, Teresa, wherever you went. Bless you and bless your family for all the preservation that you've done with our people. Some history. Well, the ranchers say that this place, original intent was for ranching. What was the original intent of this land? Long time ago, when people were first brought back to this land, Coyote, he sent Hummingbird, Kulipi, up to the sky to bring down fire for our people. And it started right here on Kulipi Point. That is the name of Point Reyes, Kulipi Point. It's the head of the hummingbird. That's why the hummingbird's throat is red. That's why this dirt that you see right here and up at Point Reyes is so dark. You know how long it takes for this dirt to get dark from horse and cow crap? Not a lot of redwoods here because our people let the place burn. When the sun sets, it goes to the west. Life begins in the east and it ends in the west. This is where we bury our ancestors. We've buried our ancestors here with the condor ceremony for over 12,000 years. That's this land's original intent. Our people were created on top of Mount Tam, Tamalpais, which you say, but we say Tamal Paish. Paish is a mountain, Tamal is a bay. We have different ways of interpreting that because, we can't just interpret our language into English. We're so complicated with this English language today. Let's get back to the ranches. Nicasio, Rancheria. The ranches in Point Reyes here, letters A through P. Anybody have any idea what those letters mean? That was so our people could find the ranches and go work for those ranchers for the day. That's who built those ranches, my ancestors. But all people of color, all homeless people, we know who were homeless back in the early 1900s, late 1800s, and who had the wealth. So guess who was at Nicasio Rancheria? Black people, Chinese people, Mexican people, Italian people, and the very few left of my people. We are descendants of Tom Smith and Maria Copa. These are the ceremonial people that held ceremony in these areas right here. We were a secret society. After Alcatraz in '69, we still weren't allowed to pray until 1978. This place was a place of ceremony, a place of burying our dead. Now, some have argued that and said when Kulilokla was built, this is just a bunch of Indians playing Indian. No, that place is sacred. Oh. We chose that place because of the land, because of what it looked like. Because we know the history of this entire area all the way out to the north point of Tomales Bay, if any of you have ever been out there and seen the petroglyphs and seen the old ancient rocks out there. Well, to get there, you got to pass through this way. You don't think we came through here? That's ignorance. That's pure ignorance. We all know this. We have law to follow. We have NAGPRA. We have CEQA, Native American Graves Repatriation Protection Act. Repatriation. We are the MLDs. That is our cemetery in Marshall. CEQA. The state has an obligation. Somebody said earlier, the state won't do anything. No, the state and the government will do something, but we, the people, have the power. We have to educate one another and stand up. But let's not cause fights. We're against violence, but we are here to exercise our right. And we do that by speaking and building relationships with one another and educating one another. That's my job as a TIPO. I work for a lot of different California tribes. I'm not going to mention who right now, but I fight with people. I'm at the board with people. I have to fight. I have to show them the law. We have to, all this, it's disturbing sometimes when there's law in place and you're supposed to follow this law. We, the Coast Miwok Tribal Council of Marin, have never left Marin. My family has always gathered around Tomales Bay Park, Indian Beach, specifically Heart's Desire. We always honor our grandmother, Agnes Shiloh. She told my cousin Joe right here. Cousin Joe's mother and my father's father are brother and sister. Dean's family and my family we used to live there in Marconi, Marshall, fishermen's. That was our village there. In the 1950s came the IRA Act, Indian Relocation Act. After World War II, after Pearl Harbor, they wanted to build all these bunkers. If you go along the coast of California, if you wonder what they are, that was to protect the coast, San Francisco, after World War II. They wanted to put a communication tower in Tomales Bay. So part of how they did that was they tricked our people by putting us in the system called the IRA. Basically, we couldn't get no jobs here during that time. Even though we helped build these ranches, we didn't get anything out of that. Even after the U.S. government got California from the Spanish and the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, 1,800 acres in Nicasio is supposed to be our land right now. Even after all that, 18,000, 80,000 acres. Whoa, sorry.
80,000 acres.
I'll take 100, but 80,000 sounds better. That's nothing what's here. Even after all that, we still have nothing. I'm gonna drive home outside of Marin County. We're all gonna drive home outside of Marin County because we don't get to live here. It's too expensive. And back to the point, we were put on a bus to go get jobs in the cities. Once we got those jobs, we stood in the line of the welfare line or social services. Ran a little different at that time, you know. Once we got that first check, cut off of all benefits. Now we're U.S. citizens. That was pretty much the last straw of it all for us. That's the real history of Point Reyes, of how it came to be and why our people are not here. But we are here because Lenny Pinole our relative had a relationship with the Park Service. And we chose the spot. And what is sacred is what we make sacred.
Oh.
This place has always been sacred. The Creator gave us this place from the creation to be sacred. And we never lived here year round. If you spend a lot of time here, there's a lot of fog here. We were inland a little more. One of our main villages was Shatako in Echakolom, one of the head center areas. 7 main bands in Marin County. We are Tamalco people. Tamal is Bay, Ko are people. We are Tamalco people. We are from the Hukui code. That is one of the 7 main bands. Echa Kolom, Echa Tamal, Shatako are 3 of our main villages. And what you all know is Nicasio was a main center point. I'm going to introduce my cousin Dean right here. We're going to talk about responsibility. We have an obligation from Creator. It's our duty as stewards of this land.
Oh, Yahweh. Thank you, Jason. And again, I'm honored. I have a lot of gratitude today. Always come back to, our ancestral land. And so, yeah, that's what I was whispering into Jason. Hey, we have to talk about that as indigenous people, as Coast Miwok. We are accountable. We know what our purpose and our jobs are and what we inherited, the teachings from our ancestors. And I love that sign. I love Tule Elk because those are our relations. Yeah. Right? And we're here all, when we talk about, again, how do we be a good relative? How do I be a good ancestor? That's by having my intentions to preserve all of creation, not just human, but the 4-legged, the finned, the winged. So that's why it's a beautiful day. That's why I'm just really thankful to see each and every one of you, that you would stand together to take on that role and that responsibility. Because once you know what you didn't know, or once you know what you know, you are responsible. And hopefully this government can hear that and they can be responsible. Right?
Yes.
So just recently, first time I took a ride out to where our relatives were. And this was a few months ago. First time I've been out there on the point. And I went to pray for the Tule Elk. It broke my heart. Right when I got there, one of the relatives, he came right up to me to welcome me. But to see all of them fenced in like that broke my heart. So, at the cost of what? At the cost of what? Greed. Let's just call it what it is. And as we see our land being poisoned, there's no accountability, there's no responsibility. So we need to hold those in power responsible. Because they work for us, right?
Yeah. They're supposed to.
Yeah. So somebody told me, be that change you want to see in the world. And I believe that's what you're doing. That's what we're doing, right? And so for us, as ancestors of this land, our role is to bring those teachings back. Because we're all trying to find that balance. Because our world is so out of balance in so many different ways, right? So let's restore the beauty that is all these places that Cousin Jason talked about. Because our ancestors are watching us, our grandmas. We are the prayer We are the living prayer of our ancestors. And so that's what I mean being accountable, being responsible. So I want to thank you all for being here. And I want to encourage you to keep up the good fight. Yeah.
But why aren't we preserving the elk? Why aren't the ranchers, why don't they care? It's the bottom line. Why don't they care? Like Cousin said, that elk came up to him because it's asking for help. They didn't just come up to people like that. They had plenty of food. They're coming around the ranches because they're hungry. But back to the cultural practices, what I was saying, the reason why this dirt is this color is because cultural practices, we burned this land so there would be grasses. The grasses aren't here anymore, though. These are weeds. These are all weeds. The native grass is gone because the cattle have eaten it all, have eaten all our medicine. We need to restore the native life that was out here.
So we're going to offer a song. And again, for our elk relatives, just ask Creator to help them continue their life and, what they were meant to, to be here, how they were meant, in the manner in which they were meant to be here. And again, remember, water is life. That liwa, that sacred life source, which our Tule elk relatives need. So we're going to have those intentions, that prayer in this song.
Yo way ya way ya, ay 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 yo way ya. Yo way ya way ya, ay 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 yo way ya way ya.
Thank you. So we don't clap, we say, oh! Yeah.
We sung that song for Lanny. Lanny was, that was Lanny's song. He was involved with the building of the original house right here at Kuliloklo, so we sing that for our ancestors, in remembrance of this original intent of Kuliloklo, Point Reyes. Kulipi Point. We thank you all.
Thank you.
To my left is Mr. Tiger, and he's holding our veteran staff, our Native American veteran staff, our first defenders, the first to protect our ceremonial and burial grounds throughout the country, throughout the state of California. My name is Chikas. Inam Keruk Ara Fatne. I am a Kerak tribal medicine man. I traveled here today to be with our brothers and sisters to bless this sacred land and its inherent tie to the people. Be assured there is a fiduciary relationship between the Point Reyes Tule elk and the National Park Service. And I can tell you right now, they have breached it terribly. They have left our elk. Our people survived off of our deer and elk and our land animals, the four-legged, the finned ones, the winged ones, for centuries. Each tribe had a special word for its elk. Ours was Ishuk, Yacha, Ishuk, Yacha. Look at the elk. That elk provided clothing, tools, food, unbelievable. And now we can't even get access to them. Today I'm going to do a brief ceremony. I'm going to light our Indian medicine to bless this land of the coastal Miwok people and their ancestors that walked it for generations, and hundreds of years, long before they ever thought about talking about treaties. If you look at the state of California today, we are in the same state that Oklahoma is. The federal courts there rendered moot the treaties that were held a long time ago. We are in the same situation in California because they were never ratified by the United States Senate. I'm not going to repeat all this because it's a long history and it's getting very hot out. E-P-I-F, you know, you should, you know, E-ta, E-Shri-T, E-P-I-F. When I was a young man, I could get down on my knees. Now as an old veteran, I gotta hold my drum. I'm sorry. I'm gonna do a short song here. Bless this special land of the coastal Miwok. May we walk it forever. Thank you very much.
And thank you all for being here. That concludes this event today. I want to thank the hosts, Turtle Island Restoration Network, Resource Renewal Institute, Western Watersheds Project, and In Defense of Animals for gathering us here today as we await the final decision tomorrow. And another reminder, regardless of what happens tomorrow, we're continuing this fight to restore Point Reyes. Please do sign up if you have yet to do so, or find us at our respective organizations online. There are people at the tables that can help answer any questions. Please go in peace, go in grace today as we await the final decision. And thank you for helping us in our efforts to restore Point Reyes National Seashore. Appreciate you all.